Hello students, today we will learn about our third chapter, that is sports. So let's start. Okay, tell me that what causes motion. For example, if I take a ball and if we need to give motion to the ball, then I need to give it a push, isn't it? So I need to apply force on the ball. So what is needed to stop the motion of the ball? Again a force. Similarly, if you consider the motion of a car, it is the engine which applies the force on the car, is not it? And the brakes apply a force to stop the car. So we can say that force is a quantity by application of which we can change the direction of a moving object, or by application of which we can make a moving object move faster, or by application of which we can stop the moving objects or slow down them. Okay, or force is a quantity which can cause a motion in a stationary object. Okay, so if you suppose if you are pushing the bus, then ultimately you are applying a force, is not it? Okay, so basically what is push? When a body on the application of force moves away from us, then the force so applied is called push. That means the force by application of which a body moves away from us, this is called push. Okay, so what is pull actually? So suppose if you want to open a drawer of a table, then ultimately you have to pull it, is not it? That means pull is a force by application of which a body moves away from us, moves towards us, is not it? That means pull is a force by application of which a body moves towards us. So we can say that when a body moves closer to us on the application of force, then such a force is called pull. Okay, in physics we can say that force is defined as push or pull. Okay, now we will discuss about effects of force. So the first effect is a force can cause a motion in a stationary object. Okay, suppose this is a pen, it is in stationary state, is not it? And then if we apply some force, then the pen will move, is not it? That means a force can cause a motion in a stationary object. Okay, so some examples are: if you push a book placed on a table, it starts moving. When you pull a chair, it starts moving, is not it? So that means by application of force we can move a stationary object. Okay, so however, it is not necessary that a force always makes a stationary body move. For example, okay, if you try to push the wall of your class, then it will not move, is not it? That means the force applied by you is not sufficient to move the wall. Okay, so the second one is a force can stop the moving object or slow them down. Okay, so suppose your friend is riding a bicycle, okay, and then if you pull his bicycle from behind, then what will happen? It is going to slow down, is not it? And ultimately it will stop. Okay, so ultimately that means you are applying a force in the direction of opposite to the direction of the moving body, is not it? So that the body slows down. Okay, so we know that while playing cricket, a fielder can stop a ball by applying force, is not it? So that we can say that force can stop the moving objects or slow them down. Okay, third one is a force can make a moving object move faster. So if we consider an example of moving vehicle, then by pressing the accelerator of the moving vehicle, we can increase the speed of the moving vehicle. Why? That means we are pressing the accelerator, means ultimately we are applying more force, is not it? So that the speed will increase. Okay, and the fourth one is force can change direction of moving object. Okay, when a cricket player hits the ball with bat, his force changes the speed as well as the direction of the ball. So at first the direction of the ball is towards the batsman, is not it? But after hitting, the direction of the ball changes, is not it? So we can say that a force can change direction of moving objects. Similarly, a football player also can change the direction of the ball by angling his foot, is not it? The fifth one is a force can change the shape of an object. Okay. So imagine a spring fixed in a wall. Okay. Imagine a spring fixed in a wall with a nail. Okay. This is nail and this is the spring. Okay. When we pull the spring, okay, that means we are applying force. Then it gets stressed and hence the shape of it changes. Is not it? The shape of the spring in the first case and the shape of the stressed spring is not same, is not it? So that means we can say that by application of force we can change the shape of an object. Clear? Okay. And the sixth one is a force cannot cause any effect on the mass of an object. Okay. We know that mass is a constant quantity. Okay. If we apply force on an object, it cannot change the mass of the object. Okay. So these are the effects of force. So from the above discussion, we can say that force is an external agent which changes or tends to change the state of rest or uniform motion of a body or changes its direction or shape. Okay. We can classify forces into two categories. One is contact forces and another one is non-contact forces. Okay. In force at contact, there is a real contact when the force is applied. Okay. When you push a ball, there is a real contact between your hand and the ball. Okay. And if you pull your dog by applying force to the belt, then there is a real contact between your hand and the belt, is not it? So we can say that contact, what is contact force? All forces which act on a body directly or through a connector are called contact forces. Okay. And another one is non-contact forces. So in this case contact is not necessary. Okay. So if we consider that if I throw a ball from a height, it will come to the ground, is not it? Okay. So how does the ball fall? Due to the gravitational force, is not it? So gravitational force acts at a distance, is not it? There is no real contact here. Okay. And in case of magnetic force also, if we consider that if we place a needle made of iron near to a magnet, then what will happen? The magnet will attract the needle, is not it? But there is no real contact between the magnet and the needle. So magnetic force is also non-contact force. So we can define non-contact forces as the forces which do not make direct contact with a body but act through space are called non-contact forces. So some examples are like magnetic force, electrical force, gravitational force. Okay. What are consequential forces? Okay, consequential forces do not exist on their own. Okay, when we apply some force on a body, then this type of force can act. Okay, so if we consider an example, if we roll a ball on the ground by applying force, then after some time, after covering a certain distance, it will stop, is not it? Why? Because the force of friction is called into play as a result of rolling of cricket ball on the ground. That means this force of friction is a consequential force which generates when we are rolling the ball on the ground, is not it? By applying some force. So we can say that the consequential force can be defined as a force which is called into play when a force is applied on an object. Okay. Now we will discuss about forces in nature. So we come across large number of forces in nature such as muscular forces, mechanical forces, gravitational forces, electrical force, magnetic force, etc. Okay. So now we will discuss about muscular force. So what is muscular force? The force produced by the muscles of living beings is called muscular force or biological force. If we push or pull anything or stretch or compress anything, then we need to use our muscles, is not it? So the force is generating from our muscles. So this type of force is actually muscular force. Okay. However, if the force required is too large and our body is incapable of producing it, we use muscular force of animals like bullocks are used for plowing fields. Okay. Horses are used for moving carriages. Okay. So these are the examples of using muscular force of animals. Okay, and sometimes we use non-living objects for performing certain jobs, such as we use axe for cutting woods, okay, knife for cutting fruits, isn't it? So, in all cases, we need to use our muscular force. Okay. So now, what is mechanical force? The definition of mechanical force is the forces generated by a machine are called mechanical force. We all know that no machine produces force on its own, is not it? So we need to supply energy to it to produce force, is not it? So in case of car engine, we need to give some energy by burning petrol, then the force is generated, is not it? And we know that the energy of flowing water is used to produce necessary force which runs a generator to produce electrical current, is not it? So these are the types of mechanical forces. Okay, now we will discuss about gravitational force. So we all know that what is gravitational force. So we all know that ripe fruits on a tree fall towards ground. Why? Due to the gravitational force. That means ultimately earth pulls all objects towards itself, is not it? What is the gravitational force? The pull exerted by the earth on the objects is called force of gravity or gravitational force. So that ripe fruits on a tree fall towards ground, is not it? So when we throw an object vertically upward, the force of gravity, okay, starts acting on it, so that it retards the motion of the object, and then it stops it and finally pulls it towards itself, is not it? So from the concept of force of gravity, we can explain about weight, is not it? What is weight? The force by which an object is attracted towards the earth is called weight. We know that. Another type of energy is electrical force. Another type of force is electrical force. So what is electrical force? So due to the electrical force, an electrically charged object can pull or push other charged objects, is not it? Another one is magnetic force. What is magnetic force? So magnetic force is the force by which a magnet attracts or repels object of iron, steel, nickel or cobalt, is called magnetic force. So we know that magnets attracts magnetic materials. Suppose if we place a needle made of iron in near to the magnet, then what will happen? Then it will attract the needle towards itself, is not it? So this property of attracting iron or steel, that means all magnetic materials towards itself by the magnet, is called magnetic property. Okay. If we see this picture, we can say that this is the north pole of the magnet and this is the south pole of the magnet. And if we bring the north pole of the bar magnet near a glass bowl containing common pins, then what will happen? When the bar magnet comes closer to the common pins, they are pulled towards the magnet, is not it? So we can say that the magnet has a magnetic force which pulls the steel pins towards itself, is not it? And we also need to know that gravitational force is always attractive, while the magnetic and electrostatic forces can be attractive as well as repulsive. Why? Because we know that two like poles of a magnet repels each other, is not it? We know that. Okay.